Let's get down to business.
Hey guys, welcome to ImageX. Today we have a coach, Danielle Patrice Barron, a past graduate of image fitness training. Within about 3 years, she started the course, got qualified, started working in a gym, became an online coach, left working in a gym and has gone full-time online coaching now for about, I think, a year and a half. She then took the leap from leaving Ireland to moving to Marbella and has just got the lifestyle that most people would dream about. So I'm here today to pick this woman's brain and ask her tips to success, what tips she can give to aspiring fitness coaches and to the public as well on nutrition, training and mindset and everything else. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Okay, Danielle, thank you very much for joining us. It's great to see you again. It's been too long. It's
I
been
know.
2 or 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. The time has flown by.
Well, thank you for joining us. So
You're welcome.
I'm losing track of the amount of questions. I'm going to dive in if you don't mind.
No worries.
If you could, I'd love to go back to, your own background actually, and what got you into fitness. What inspired you to start training? Tell us about your life at that point, because there's many who will watch this who probably want to even join the gym, but that's
the thing.
Step.
You don't have to be into fitness to just join the gym. It happens over time. I'll keep it sharp. Yeah. I'll go back to when I was 17. I was a hairdresser up until the age of 21. I was doing hairdressing, moved to London, thought that this was my career. Didn't like it, wasn't for me, but I went with it anyway. Then I moved back to Ireland after I did a beauty therapy course and still couldn't find my passion. Didn't know, I knew myself that wasn't something that was going to light a fire for me. It wasn't something I was going to pursue myself. I was just kind of trying to find what I wanted to do. So then I went through phases of working in nightclubs, worked in Chinese restaurants, worked in Pennies. Then I was working in Aldi. So that was grand. I was settled. I was just comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
You weren't exercising or training or
no, never been to a gym, hadn't been to a gym or anything like that. Knew nothing about exercise, didn't even know what protein was. People that listen to this will be like, Jesus Christ. But so then I was just comfortable, but I was miserable. I wasn't happy. And one of the lads brought up a conversation one day to me. We were chatting and he was like, what are you doing with your life? He was like, you need to find a passion. You need to find something that you want. And he would be very fit himself. He's a boxer, so he's always in and out of the gym and stuff. So he kind of persuaded me to join the gym. I knew nothing. I absolutely knew nothing going in. I was terrified. So joined the gym the next day. I made my best friend come with me and the two of us walking in. And I was like to her, I was like, Sinead, act normal now walking in here. And she walked straight into a man doing walking lunges. And I was like,
you're joking.
Guess who the new people are? So I didn't know what I was doing, but I just kept with it. I kept doing it. And I was like, right, I wasn't happy beforehand. So I'm just going to find, just work on myself and see how that goes. I just fell in love with it. It was the mindset change. I was like, I didn't go in there starting out to change my physique or anything like that. I went in just to kind of get a hobby. And when I started to learn about resistance training, I just fell in love. Now, it took me about a year of making mistakes. I didn't know what I was doing because I never got a coach, which would have been very, very beneficial to me if I had got a coach, because it would have took that year of me making mistakes. It would have got rid of that.
Good point.
But yeah, and then that was it. And I just started learning. I just started watching loads of YouTube videos. I just started I always loved food, learning about food and stuff and learning about the body. And that was just it then. I just fell in love with it. My mindset, everything changed.
Tell me this, there'll be many watching this who, do you remember that unhappiness from the likes of Aldi and your previous jobs? You maybe started into the hairdressing thinking this is for me and then it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Can you describe that? Because is it just unfulfilled?
It was it was just, okay, this is my life. Do you know, it's kind of I'll just wake up, I'll do what I have to do, I'll go to work. But I knew there was something else out there for me. I knew that I had a lot more to live. I never woke up excited. I hated Mondays. I used to live for a Friday. I'd go out drinking Friday, Saturday and Sunday because it'd be my days off. And I just kind of accepted that for a while. I was like, oh, is this what life is meant to be? Do you know what I mean? But I knew that there was more there. There was more to life. And when I found fitness and how much it helped my mindset and everything, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to show people that you can literally be the happiest version of yourself. And I wake up every morning and I love it doesn't feel like work.
Really?
Literally doesn't feel like work in what I do.
Wow, amazing. Okay, jump back to that first day in the gym when your friend walked into the lunges. That first 12 months, did you find it intimidating?
Yeah. I remember the first gym I started, it was in Waterford. It was a quieter gym. And like I said, I hadn't a clue what I was doing. And I think I spent the first 6 months walking on the treadmill because I was terrified. I was so scared to go over to that weight section. But there was no reason to be scared. And I know that a lot of my clients will relate to me on this. They're scared to go to the gym. they're scared to go over to the weight section, which is totally acceptable. Like, it's normal. You're going to feel intimidated. But you need to remember that everyone in there had a day one. Like, everybody started somewhere. Everyone has a day one. And no one cares. Like, no one's going to look at you and be like, oh, she's new. She doesn't know what she's doing. So it took me 6 months to actually go over. And then when I started, I went over and I remember trying to squat. Like, I have a form video, actually.
Really?
I have a video of my very first squat. Like, it was awful. But, and I was struggling to lift the bar. Like, I had no strength in me whatsoever. But yeah, I just kept going with it. And I was like, look, you just have to put yourself out of your comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable in things, or else you're always going to stay the same. And if I didn't push myself out of that comfort zone, I'd still be working in a job I hated. I'd still be miserable. I'd still be out of shape, you know? So it's just pushing past that.
Did you find after a couple of weeks you get those endorphin rushes,
Yeah.
you're feeling, and almost everything else in your life improves?
That's what it is.
Everything.
Yeah, like the endorphins that come from working out, it's a lot more than aesthetic reasons. Like the endorphins that come, you go home and you know you're after working on yourself. You're after giving yourself like time for you to improve in life. You just feel happy. That rolls on then to you want to eat well. Because you're working in the gym, you don't want to go home then and get a Chinese or a takeaway, because you're after putting the work in the gym, so you automatically want to eat better. Then when you eat better, your mood lifts. Do you know what I mean? You're outside getting fresh air. Everything just starts falling into place for you. And that's a lot of my clients even say the same. They're like, it's not just about the gym anymore. It's like my whole life feels better. Like my whole life has improved. So definitely.
Off camera, you've told me about some of the mental health improvements.
Oh,
exercising has done for both you and clients.
Massively.
Could you mention about that? Your background there?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I was doing the Leaving Cert. I was very, very young, and the stress got the better of me. So I ended up developing an eating disorder. I ended up developing anorexia. A really scary time in my life, because back then as well, it wasn't a topic that was spoke about. I don't even think Instagram was really a thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going on. Like with me, I was just terrified of food. I was terrified of calories. I was afraid of my life to eat. I used to be just nonstop trying to like get exercise, like just walking everywhere. Dropped down to 6 stone, I'd say, very, very unhealthy. Lost my period for a few years.
Right.
Really, really bad place. So that affected my mental health and my self-esteem. I had no self-confidence, like whatsoever. I had no belief in myself. So that went on then till about 20, I'd say, and I moved to London. A long time. And I thought that I was never going to, I thought I'd never be fixed. I thought this was my life, like.
It's funny, around that time, that was around when you done the beauty course.
When I came back then, so I moved to London and I was doing hairdressing over there, because I thought I wanted to be a hairdresser. Like, this is what I want to do, but like that didn't feel fulfilled. It wasn't for me. I knew myself I wasn't going to make a career out of it with my own name. I'd always be working under someone else, and I wanted to be my own boss. Like, I wanted to do my own thing. So moved back from London and moved in with a few friends up in Waterford. And we were kind of going through a party stage, like, so I just started drinking. So we were drinking about 4 times a week. I was like the top customer inside the foundry at the time. And then I developed into like a binge eating disorder, because I stopped restricting, but because I was restricting food for so long, I ended up then not having any control of what I was eating. So like I would just binge on thousands of calories for absolutely no reason. And then I'd go drinking, and it was just a whirlwind of, just such a bad mindset. And like you could say I developed like depression, like, because I didn't have any goals in life. Like I literally wake up, go to a job I hated, come home and just binge on a load of food for no reason, wake up the next day feeling terrible, and just repeat it. And it was a bad time. It was a really, really bad time of my life. And then, like I said, then had a chat with one of the lads, and he kind of noticed that I was unhappy, like, and this wasn't the way I was meant to be. So then I joined the gym, and since then my life has just improved. And if I was to look at myself 10 years ago and say I'd be sitting here right now and with this mindset and this happy, I'd never have believed it. I was the most negative person you'd ever meet before. I was always a victim. Do you know, I was a victim of my own circumstances until I made the change to work on myself, like, and better myself.
Yeah, we're going to get to your coaching career now shortly, but just very briefly, do you find you've similar stories and examples with your clients you've worked with?
Definitely.
As in the training has just, the transformations are far beyond.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's why I love what I do, because it's very easy to give someone a workout. Like, you can buy them off a Fiverr, do that app online, do you know what I mean? But it's very easy to give a workout and stuff. But when you can relate to a client and realize they're all so different, like I've had a lot of girls that have suffered with binge eating, and they thought that was their life as well. And I can relate to them, and I know what to focus on with them. I know how to help them overcome that. And they've overcome it, and they've never felt better. Like, and it's the most I just feel so grateful. I feel so grateful to be able to help others come out of that dark place.
Wow.
Because when you're in it, if you haven't gone through it, you don't understand how hard it is to get out of it. And a lot of girls, I've had a few girls that suffered with anorexia as well, missing periods and all that. We work together closely for, I'd say, like, we give a good lot of time together working, because that's a lot more than just, I want to grow my glutes. Do you know what I mean? That's fixing a lot of things. And they've overcome it. They've got their periods back. They're flying it in the gym. Wow. So it's just the most amazing feeling.
Tell me, see some of those success stories. Is there any tips or any things that jump off you, at the top of your head of how this has worked for you and the success you've had with people?
Yeah, so basically, first of all, you have to be passionate about what you do. Don't get into online coaching because you think it's easy money. Don't do it and chase money, because you're not gonna build a connection with your clients. Second of all, you have to put in the work as well. You have to realize that, like, you have a massive responsibility when you're working with an individual. It's not just the next person that signs up and off you go. Like, you need to be there for them. You need to help them. And you just need to believe in yourself as well. You need to believe in yourself, and just put in the work and believe that you're able to do it. And like, work closely with every single client. I know it can be so scary starting off, because you're like, I've no client base, I don't have much followers, I don't have this. You need one follower to have one client. Do you know what I mean? So, and you need to work your arse off with that client and get your name out there and build trust with people. Show people that you know what you're talking about and you care what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a huge results with clients. Talk about what you have done to get these results with people, whether it's, the eating disorders, or even probably the most common one is weight loss.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that side of your background, because obviously you've gotten huge results with people.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that jump off top of your head that you do?
So
and you've done?
I just wanted to relate to everyone. I didn't want to be the next online coach that was making people eat chicken and broccoli and making them go to the gym 6 days a week. Do you know, it's not realistic. It's not sustainable. Yeah, you'll get a fantastic transformation in 8 weeks with it, but you don't need to do it like that. You want to do it as a lifestyle. So you have like a busy mom who has kids, who doesn't have time to go to the gym 6 times a week. You make a plan around them, and you make it suit their lifestyle. You tell them, like, you don't need to give up chocolate. You don't need to give up food you like. You can have your wine at the weekends. Yeah. And I think that's how my name got out there at the start as well, because people were like, oh my God, like, I can actually enjoy myself. So I make it as real as possible for all of my girls. And I make it like that they can enjoy the food that they want. They don't wake up and they dread their food that they're going to eat. They enjoy what they eat. And then basically it was kind of like, just started off like word of mouth, and I'd get one client, then another client that would be friends with him, and I just gave it my all. I just literally worked. I remember at the start now, I worked a lot of hours, and it was locked in, so I had the time to do it. But it just kind of spiraled then from there. And
though that mother example, would you be having them counting calories? Would you?
Yeah.
What level of depth would you go into with them?
So I would, I'll give all of my girls like sample menu of food. So I'll never tell someone what to eat. Like. You don't need to wake up in the morning and have like this, because what if you don't have it in the fridge? Yeah. What if you don't have that food there? You don't have access to it. You panic, and then you end up getting like a pizza or something because you don't know what to do. So I'll give them like a sample menu of foods. Like they have 7 options for like their breakfast, 7 options for their lunch, 7 options for dinner. But I also educate them on how to use my fitness pal. I give them a video explaining how to do it. I have videos explaining like what a calorie is, what like your metabolism is, how to like
these are
what
videos
a calorie
you've made yourself.
Yeah. Okay. All videos that I've done myself, like I've recorded myself and I upload it to the app, and they will have access to that. So obviously I will be there if they have any other questions, but they have those videos for life. Because the education is key. You can't keep that up if you don't have the education. You know, you can do a meal plan, but it's like if someone asked me to learn French, but if someone just gave me a paragraph of French to learn, and I learn it off by heart. Yeah, I can say that off by heart, but then I don't know what else to say. But if someone told me to sit down and learn French, then I actually can say it, like I can talk it, you know. So the education is a massive part of it as well, and how you keep this as a lifestyle change.
Client checks in, they've fallen off the wagon. They've had a crazy few days because of partying and everything else.
Happens as all. Yeah. It happens as all. Do you know, like, obviously, if it's happening every weekend, we need to be like, listen, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Like, I will be strict with them, but not in a way where if they go and have a few drinks, I'm going to be hounding them or hunting them down or calling to their house. We're all human. We are all human. Like, I enjoy a drink at the weekends, or I go out on holidays and I don't worry about my steps or my protein, you know? So we need to realize that it is real life, and you're not going to give up your glass of wine for the rest of your life. So why give it up for 8 weeks? Do you know? Learn how to include it. Learn how to fit it in. Learn how to fit in your favorite treats. Learn how to fit in what you enjoy, and then that's how it becomes sustainable. Because I've tried all of the diets. Oh my God, like I remember, like especially when I had anorexia, like I didn't eat chocolate for about 3 years. I don't know how I survived, but I didn't eat chocolate for like
Really?
so, because I thought that the chocolate was going to make me gain fat, not understanding that it's actually down to the calories that you consume, and like you can fit all these things in. So that's what I teach my clients, that a lot of them come to me that are scared. They've been on, like, I won't mention any other weight loss programs, but they'd be on these, and like certain food would be deemed bad, or they'd be terrified to eat it. They'd be like, oh, I can't eat that chocolate bar, I'm going to gain fat. And I'm like, you can definitely eat that chocolate bar. Like, it's 200 calories. Do you know what I mean? You can fit it in. So it's just about educating and getting rid of that fear of food for all of my clients.
A member of the public watching this who has no idea what online coaching is. Now, a member of the public looking at you on any online coach, typically, how does it work? So we'll explain the basics of it.
So for a client, so just say someone is signing up with me, they will, after we have a chat or whatever, I'll send them out a questionnaire, and basically just asking them, like, how many days can you train realistically? Like, what is your goal? Find out a bit about them or whatever, and then I will do up a plan for them, set them up on my app, and just say they can train 3 days a week. They can go to the gym 3 days a week. Now, you don't even have to go to the gym. I'll do home workouts as well. So if they want to do 3 home workouts, I will do up a plan for them. They have video demonstrations of every single exercise as well, so they don't need to worry about not being able to do it. All they need to do is click it, and there's a video of me doing it. So then I'll give them their sample meals, like, that they can choose from if they're a total beginner, because if you're a total beginner, you can't just give someone calories and protein because they don't know how to put a meal together. Like, so I'll give them the sample meals while educating them along the way, and then they're doing their own meals as well. Then I'll send them over all the information videos as well. So they'll be just non-stop listening to me chatting for as long as they're with me, covering every topic. So then we'll do weekly check-ins. So we do those once a week. And
how do they work? Are they like a WhatsApp message, your phone?
So now I've only recently got my app together. So we were doing them through email and WhatsApp, but now I've got the app. So they will check in through the app. They'll upload their progress photos on the app. And it's amazing because they have their own little profile, and they can go in and even look at their day one photos. And they can see them all. And then we update, like, the weight and measurements. So, like, you have the chart to show, like, the weight coming down. Questionnaire, then I'll send out the new questionnaire every week that they'll fill in. It just gives them a chance to ask any questions, anything like that. I will then voice note them back with a response if we need any updates or if they've any questions asked. But anyway, I'll always voice note them and just encourage them, because I think encouragement is the most important thing. Even if you've had a bad week, forget about it. Do you know what I mean? Don't let it drag on. Like, there's at least one positive thing would have happened that week. Do you know, not everything was bad. So we'll do that. And then if they have any questions during the week as well, they can email me literally every single day. I'm always going to check my emails every morning. So they're not going to feel alone. It's accountability. It's literally a PT in your pocket. Like,
very good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Good words to use. Okay, brilliant. Right, now let's continue back to your story. So you were in the gym. You were there a year, walking on the treadmill. Finally took the leap and went over to the free weights area.
Yeah.
What's the next chapter in your life from that point?
So I remember then I just seen massive improvements in myself. So after I finally plucked up the courage to go over to the weight section, I thought I was great. I was like, I'm lifting weights, I'm unstoppable. And then I remember watching loads of YouTubes. I used to love Rob Lipset. I used to watch all his YouTubes because he kind of started from nothing as well, and, like, made his way up. So then I joined a bigger gym, and I was scared shitless again, like, starting that gym. And that's when I knew then, and I started doing recipes. I love cooking. Like, I love doing recipes and macro-friendly meals and all that. So what I would do is, like, just say you have a Chinese, so a spice bag, and someone is trying to lose weight, I will do a Fakeaway version of the spice bag. And I started showing them up my Instagram, and people were like, oh my God, that's amazing, you know? And they were like, how are you eating that? How are you eating bread? Like, and I was like, because you can, like, you can eat all the food that you love. You don't need to be miserable.
Very good.
So then I started learning a lot more, then just educating myself along the way. And I remember then I started doing uploading videos on Instagram, and I think I was doing a leg curl one day, and I uploaded the leg press 4x8. I had no clue. But one of the lads then from Ben Dunn Gym messaged me. He was like, Danielle, that's a leg curl. Like, would you stop putting up stupid information online? And I was like, okay, I need to get qualified. Like, I was like, I need to go get the actual education. I know I love this, but I need to get the education. So then, tipping away anyway myself, that same guy then that was in Ben Dunn actually recommended G, because he did a PT course with E. So he recommended G, and I remember at the time I was absolutely broke. I had zero money, and I was like, I need to do this course. Like, I need to do it. So you had the payment plan, like, or whatever. So that was perfect for me. I was like, I'm going to make this work. And I'm still working in Aldi at the time. So started the course. I think it was in May or something I started. And from day one, I just knew that was for me. I just loved it. I was like that annoying person in class, so that would ask every single question. Like I had like zero confidence starting, and when I left after 17 weeks, like my confidence was just up.
Really?
Yeah, it was mad the difference. Like, and I was that little. I never missed one day.
Really?
I was in every single day. Yeah, every single weekend, no matter what, I was always there.
Did you know early on that this is a future career that you want?
Oh yeah. I knew myself when I seen my own changes in my mindset and my physique, because I went from being really, really thin to then gaining some weight and being very unhappy and having excess body fat, to then losing weight again. And then I seen like my glutes build, I seen like my back get toned, I seen like my legs get stronger. And it was just amazing watching myself improve with like my mindset changes as well. So I knew that like I was in such a rut before. I was at rock bottom, like
Really?
rock bottom before. And I seen what the gym had done for me. I knew I wanted to help other people, because I knew so many people were feeling the same and just don't talk about it. So I wanted to help others. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to help people. And I'm going to show people that they can enjoy their life. They can eat food they love, and they can like lift their confidence, because my confidence was -10, like so bad.
So were you in the gym 1 to 2 years before you started the course?
Yeah, I'd say about 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have great friendships, don't you, with your classmates?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're
guys
still
are
all
very
in
close.
contact. It's so nice. Like, me and one of the lads to be phone calling like so often as well.
Really?
Yeah, literally stayed in contact. Like, I consider them best friends, you know.
Yeah.
So we had such a bond though. It was so nice. Like, we used to go in and obviously we'd get our work done or whatever, but we'd always have a laugh inside there.
Yeah, I remember you did a lovely group. Even at the grad party, you guys were
Yeah.
so close. About 7 or 8 of you that were really like
Just
glue.
gelled together. Like,
Yeah.
so we all got like, I think for the grad party we got 2 hotel rooms between about 7 or 8 of us. So the boys were in one room and the girls were in another room. And I remember one of the girls lost the key, so we all ended up having to stay in the one room. Like,
Joking.
yeah, it was the best crack. It was so
I
nice.
love the fact that you're all still in touch.
Yeah. Oh, we knew it. Like, we knew that like we had developed like friendships, because just from the day we started, one of the lads, like, he went out of his way to introduce everyone. He broke the ice. And I remember on our lunch breaks, like, Larkin would be coming in, he'd be laughing at me and Stephen, one of the lads. We'd be doing like wheelbarrow races and all this kind of stuff. We only knew each other about 2 weeks, you know, but
Brilliant.
it was just a really good, comfortable environment. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, delighted. Course ended. What happened then?
So just before the course ended, actually, I was still working in Aldi. So I was doing about 36 hours work in Aldi. And I then actually got a few hours in one of the gyms in Waterford. So I was delighted. So before I was like qualified, I ended up getting work there. So it was meant to be a 7-hour contract, but it ended up being like 35 hours a week. So I was working 70 hours a week at this stage, while I was in Image Saturday and Sundays.
Jesus.
So you could say I didn't even have a spare minute to go to the bathroom. Do you know what I mean? I was planning everything, organising everything, but I never missed a day. I still trained 5 days a week. I'd be going to the gym on a Saturday morning before Image would start at 10. I'd be getting the gym done and I'd be walking out then, going to Image or whatever. So I kind of got my foot in the door a bit early, which I do think is important to get experience in a gym and get experience with the public, because you realize how different everyone is. So again, that was me pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Like, I was terrified going into the gym. I was like telling myself, I'm not good enough. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I went in and I just did it. And then I remember my very first spin class that I had to teach. Oh, my biggest fear was public speaking. Like, literally, if I thought I'd be doing this 10 years ago, I'd never believe I'd be sitting here doing a podcast. But I remember my first spin class, and I was terrified, absolutely petrified. But I went in and I did it, and it filled up, and it constantly just kept filling up every single week. And it was the best feeling ever, like seeing people actually enjoy what I was doing. So then the exams came, and I remember I was actually working in the gym that morning. So I had to literally finish my shift, and I had about 5 minutes to get from the taxi over to do my exam. I still had my work uniform on, doing my practical one. And ran in the door, Larkin was laughing at me, I remember, and I got it done, passed it. It was totally fine. And yeah, I continued then to work in the gym. So then I made the jump to leave Aldi.
Right.
And I remember so many people are saying, you're mad, why are you leaving Aldi? Because I think I was getting like 13 something an hour in Aldi, but the wage in the gym was a tenner. So everyone was like, why are you leaving? Like, it's a good job. Like, oh, you're going to be back. You're going to be back to Aldi. Like, it's never going to work. But I just knew myself. I was like, this isn't where I see myself. I'm not going to become a manager in Aldi. I'm not going to pursue my dreams in Aldi, you know? So I was like, I'm going to take the risk. And Jesus, like I remember at this stage, I had to take out a loan to pay my rent.
No way.
I was so broke, like so broke. I had no money because I was paying for the course. I was paying my rent. I lived alone. I had to take out the loan, and I was like, how is this going to work? But I was like, it's going to work. It's going to work. So then I remember I took on my first online client. It was actually a male. He worked with me, and he loved my food. He couldn't understand how I was eating like chicken burgers and Fakeaways and all this. So I think it was €50 or something. I did him like an 8-week plan, and I remember it was a refill pad, and I used a pink pen to write down his meals.
No way.
And I gave it to him anyway, and he got insane results. Like he got he did his own training, but he got incredible results. So then I put that up on Instagram.
Then.
Oh, that was it. And just seeing him enjoy it, like, and like I was bouncing off each other because like I worked with him, and he was like coming in buzzing.
Wow, yeah.
That he was like, this is the best diet ever. Do you know what I mean? He was like, this doesn't feel like a diet.
I want to come back to that Fakeaways as well in a second. Just very quickly, see this journey, right? You mentioned you'd never thought you'd be here in 10 years. Public speaking. What are some of the transformations in yourself? Some of the personal developments.
Oh,
Obviously, nutrition knowledge, resistance training knowledge, and some. Then your self-belief, confidence.
Self-belief and confidence. Like even jumping on a plane, moving to Marbella.
Yeah.
Never would have thought I'd do it. Do you know? Never would have thought I'd do it. Running my own business, like even to being in charge of what I do, never would have thought. I was like, my mindset was just terrible before, like absolutely terrible. Now my mindset is just like, I would say really rock solid. Now I had to work on that as well. Along with going to the gym and all, you do have to work on your mindset. You have to set yourself a routine and like do things for yourself to benefit yourself. So I did a lot of studying on mindset. I read a lot of books on mindset, like, and I dedicated time to do that. But yeah, just even like when I sometimes I'll sit down and I'll look back at the last year even, I'm like, what the hell is going on? How am I here? Like from the girl that was like struggling with, afraid of food and struggling with her like confidence and body image and didn't know what she wanted to do in life, to now literally waking up, like fulfilling my passion every single day and helping thousands of other women do the same thing. Do you know, it's just, it's mind blowing. It's still mind blowing to me.
Amazing. Greg, one, you've left Aldi. You're now full time in the gym. You had your first online client with himself. And then then my classes in the gym were actually like hopping, and I loved doing the group classes. Like I loved it. I created my own booty blitz class because like I obviously like train legs. Like everyone knows that I like love training legs. So I did my own booty blitz class, and that used to pack out with a waiting list. So it was amazing. So then my confidence started to grow, and I was like, right, Danielle, believe in yourself. You know what you're doing. People like you. You know, like you can help others. So then I took on, I think, 2 other girls. They were 2 sisters, and I took on 2 of them for online coaching. And I'm not going to lie, like I had no idea what I was doing. Like I was winging it at the start. You know, I knew I could help them. I knew how to help them, but I had no system in place. I didn't know how a check-in worked. I'd never had a coach before. I'd never done it before. There's no training to become an online coach. You know what I mean? There's no course you do. So they did amazing. They did really, really well. And then I remember sitting there and I had a story to put up on my Instagram advertising online coaching, but I was so scared to do it. And I think it took me about 3 weeks to actually put it up. And because I kept doubting myself. I kept saying, no, you can't do this, Danielle. Like just stick in your own lane now. You have your job. It's fine. So I just threw it up then on my lunch break in the gym one day, and I think I got like 6 clients. And I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing. This is so good. So I just built from there. And you were still working in the gym and online at that point.
I was still working in the gym at this stage. So, and I was still doing my own training as well. So,
and would you advise that to someone watching, like maybe at the beginning, if you're in a gym, to maybe try to do both?
Definitely. I would say if you're thinking about leaving your paying job, don't do it until you have your side hustle started. Yeah. Like you can't just like, I wouldn't have left Aldi if I didn't have had the gym. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I knew I had something there, and it wasn't as good as paying, but like I'd make it work. But yeah, I built up my online first. I got experience in that. So I would definitely recommend starting your side hustle. And look, we all know that in your spare hours, you want to watch Netflix and you want to sit. But like, if you want something, you have to sacrifice that. You have to sacrifice Netflix. And I spent all my extra time doing my online. I'd be sitting down making recipes. I'd be sitting down making up food plans for people. Like the easiest option would have been me to like come home from the gym and just sit down and watch Netflix. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I didn't do that. Like I worked hard and I worked long, and my social life didn't exist for a good year. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't have a social life. I didn't go out with the weekends. I'm lucky I still have friends. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, no, I'm making this work. I know I want to do this. And I unfortunately didn't have the time because I was working so many hours and I was doing my own training. So I was like, right, on the side, I'm going to stay up later. I'm going to record content. I'm going to do my recipes and I'm going to make this work. So I just kept tipping away at that. And I was in the gym about 6 months, I would say. And then lockdown happened. So I literally was like, what am I going to do? I have no gym. Oh my God, my life is over. So like everyone, the first week, I think we all had like a few wine nights and we're all on FaceTime like, oh, this is great. Jesus, we have a load of free time. Let's all just get drunk in our bedrooms by ourselves together. So after a week of that, I was like, nah, I was like, this can't be it. Like, because I knew it was going to go on a bit longer. Like it wasn't just going to be 2 weeks. So one of the girls had a really, really good transformation that I'd been working with closely online. And I just popped that up or whatever on Instagram. And then I started to get a lot of messages from her transformation. And she absolutely did amazing. Like she did unbelievable, like all my clients do. She did amazing. So I put that up and a lot of people messaging. And then I was like, right, I can help people now. Because a lot of people's mindsets went down in lockdown. And my biggest aim more than anything was I know I can help people by just getting up and getting them moving and doing food plans and helping them eat properly. Because everyone had all the time in the world to do it. No one had work. So then I threw it up my story and I was like, right, opening up some spaces for online coaching, whatever. And then I just started getting applications and I was like, oh my God, like, and I just loved it. I loved it. And I loved the fact that like, after 1 week, the girls would be messaging me and like, I feel so much better. I have a reason to wake up now. Because it's difficult going from working to nothing. I've been stuck in a house, like, and some people had kids and they're all stuck in the one house. They had nothing to release. They had nothing to do outside of that. So I made sure then to make it fun for everyone. And it wasn't something they dreaded. So I was giving them all like the good recipes. I was giving them all like the fakeaways. I would get up myself every single morning as well. And even at this, I actually felt like my followers kept me accountable and kept me like happy during lockdown because I woke up and I'd record a workout and I'd throw it on Instagram. So by them waiting for me to do a workout, they were keeping me accountable, but then I was helping them. So yeah, it was such a nice feeling because I got so many messages and that's when my following kind of grew then because I was putting out as much free information as I could because I just wanted to help people because I was like, right, this can go one way or two ways in lockdown. Like I was like, I can go back to where I was before in a very bad mind space and a lot of other people can do the same. But I knew that I wasn't going to let that happen and I could see that I was helping others and it just bounced. Like me and my clients bounced off each other. I was getting really, really good transformations. I was taking on clients, building up my knowledge. Again, I started on like, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't have a system in place and I didn't have a plan in place. And I didn't know how long this was going to last for. So I was doing it for, I'd say I was doing it for about 2 months. And then that's when I decided, I think the gym I was working in wanted me to go in and like work 3 hours and like do content for them. And they wanted me to do it on a day where it was my busiest check-in day. They weren't going to pay me for it. And not like it's about the money, but I had a lot of clients that depended on me and I wasn't just going to throw that away because I felt fulfilled doing this. Like I woke up happy. Like I knew I was responsible for other people's happiness. So then I took the plunge and quit my job in the gym.
Roughly what, mid 2020, late 2021? Where are we now?
So 2020. So this was
last year.
So lockdown happened in March and I left the gym in June.
All right.
So yeah, 2 to 3 months.
Have you been an online coach since that?
Since then I've been full-time myself. And I remember walking up to quit. I was with one of my friends and like I would be a person that like I used to be a person that would like say yeah to everything. I was always a yes girl, you know, like will you do this? Will you work 5 hours for free? Yeah, no bother. You know, I was always so like wanting to impress. So he was like, Danielle, now stick to your guns. You're quitting. You're not giving in to anything that they offer you. You're quitting or whatever. So I went over and I remember like I was shaking. I was like, oh my God, I was freaking out. I was like, what if this doesn't work out? Like I'm in charge of my own income now. So I went anyway and I left, I quit and that was it. That was me done. So then that's when I knew I have to make this work because nobody else is paying my bills. Like I have to make this work. Yeah. So I just went from there and I built a relationship with every one of my clients, which is so important to do. They're not just numbers. It's not just money. You're doing it because you care about every single person. So you want to have that connection with them. And I think that's a massive thing as well about like getting clients and your like word of mouth really, because like I said, it's a lot more than just throwing someone a food plan and giving someone a workout. You know, you have to get to know them. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has things going on in the background. So yeah, I just kept going from there. I kept uploading transformations, kept uploading workouts. I think I started TikTok as well, and I was doing like funny workouts on TikTok. So I kind of showed that fitness can be fun. You don't have to go in and hate your life like in the gym. Make it fun. Do you know what I mean? Do something that you love. Like, do exercise that you love. You don't have to go in and dread what you're doing. Make it fun. Enjoy your meals. And yeah, it just all went from there.
What's a fakeaway? Now, for people who are not in Ireland, maybe they don't know
Oh, yeah.
fast food as a takeaway, but describe that if you could.
So fakeaway is basically like, so when you're trying to lose weight, right? And if you want to go and get like a Chinese takeaway, obviously it's not going to be really good towards your goals because it's going to be higher in calories or whatever. So I would look at the fakeaways, or the takeaways, we'll say, and I would just make them out of my own food. So like, instead of going getting a bag of chips from the chipper, you just make your own, like with a bit of spray oil and pop it in the air fryer, and you have your own homemade chips. Instead of going getting like a burger, a quarter pounder from the chipper, you just make your own with like a 4% fat lean beef burger, like the lower fat cheese, the burger buns, spray oil. So you literally half the calories, even more.
Really?
So like a meal that you could get from the takeaway could be 1,600 calories. You can make it at home for 600.
Okay.
And you're not missing out. You're still eating the food that you love. Do you know what I mean? You're enjoying it, but you're still sticking within your calories to reach your goals. So that's why it works. Like, so.
Is this something you do with your clients?
Oh, all the time, yeah. I'm always uploading fakeaways.
Don't worry, guys. We're going to put Diane's contact details below this, so you'll be able to get in touch.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay.
Love it. And that's why I think as well, like, because when I was doing online coaching, there wasn't many coaches doing the fakeaway versions, you know? So people were amazed. They were like, I can eat this. I can lose weight. And I was like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's why you need to just make it realistic to the people. Like, not everyone, just because I love the gym and just because I go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week, doesn't mean everyone's going to love it as much as me. Some people just want to get healthy, lose a bit of weight and enjoy their life. Do you know what I mean? And people know on Instagram, I enjoy my life. Like, I don't restrict myself in any way, shape or form. And I don't hide the fact that I do either. I'll put up if I'm on a night out. I'll put up if I'm dying of a hangover and missed my steps. But I get straight back on track and I just keep consistent with what I'm doing, do you know? And that's why my clients as well relate, because if they'd had a weekend where they blow, like they had a takeaway, they had a few drinks, don't feel bad. Don't not check in with me and just and I'll make sure they're straight back on track. And that builds up then their like resilience to it, that they know that like if they go out for a meal or whatever, that they're going to be fine, that they're going to be okay, and just make changes the following weekend and just like fit it into their diet or whatever.
Maybe it's 3 or 4 steps forward, the odd step back.
That's one step back, you'll always take 2 steps forward. And that's the thing. And that's why I say to my girls, don't ever feel scared to check in when you've had a bad day or a bad week. I was like, that's when you learn the most.
Yeah.
Because I will be there to tell you, do you think 5 years ago, since I joined the gym 5 years ago, I haven't had a bad day?
Yeah.
Do you know, I've had plenty of them. I'd have plenty of holidays. I've had plenty of days I fell off track. A lot of stuff has happened in 5 years, but I'm still here today showing up for myself. And that's what matters.
Yeah, brilliant. Right. So mid 2020, you left your paying job in the gym.
Yeah.
You were a full-time online coach from that until you set sail for Marbella, which is a dream of many watching this, I'm sure. Talk about that period and what led you up to that point and that decision.
Yeah, so that was a wild time. That was like, so I was obviously doing my online coaching and I had a spare bedroom in my little house at the time. So I set it up into my little office, loving life. And then I was like, I remember the gyms were still closed actually. And I had planned to move to Marbella with someone else. So we were both moving over. But I didn't want to move to Marbella where the gyms were open when my clients didn't have access to a gym. I just thought that'd be unfair.
Right.
So I was meant to move a bit earlier, but I said I'd wait until the gyms opened in Ireland and then I'd make my move, because I didn't want to be going over there and some of my girls were training at home and they didn't want to be. So I said I'd wait. So that was grand. Planned to go over with someone. That didn't work out. He had to go and do something else. So I was left to make the decision, do I go? What do I do? So it was a week before. And I just booked an Airbnb because I didn't have any accommodation. Yeah. So went on Airbnb and I found this place and I was like, don't do it. But I'm just the kind of person and I'm like, push past your comfort zone. Just feckin' do it. So I was like, oh, I'm freaking out. But I just booked, it was paid. And I was like, right, the money's gone now. The accommodation is there. So I have to go. So no, I'd never been there before. I hadn't left the country in about 2 years because of lockdown. I didn't know what I was doing. I just bought a car. So then I remember the night of the flight, I knew nobody over there either. I was talking to 2 girls who actually did image as well, and they were so sweet. They were so nice. Really? They were like, when you come over, we'll show you around, whatever, like, because I was going over here alone. Like,
sorry, those 2 girls are past image graduates.
Yeah, past image graduates.
And they go on. Sorry.
Yeah, and I messaged one of them. I messaged Kira, one of the girls, and I was like, look, I'm moving over. Like, I'm freaking out a bit. So they literally like adopted me. They brought me out that night. And sure, then I was out and I remember all these fitness influencers that I'd be following on Instagram, like Rob Lipset and Mike Thurston and all of them. And I went from being in Ireland to being a newscast with all of these men and like all these girls, these fitness influencers drinking shots with them. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I was so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. But I remember anyway, the night I was meant to be going, so my flight was about 6 in the morning, I think, 5 in the morning. And that night, my brother was actually staying because he did image as well. So he had image the next morning. So he had to go to college the next day. So he'd stay at mine on a Thursday night. And I hadn't even packed. I didn't know what was going on. And then I was like, right, I'm just going to start packing now. So I videoed the 2 girls over in Marbella, and I was like, look, I'm just packing or whatever. So then I couldn't sleep with nerves. I was freaking out. And then I just got in the car and I drove down. I remember driving down. I was blaring Dermot Kennedy in the car and I was bawling. I was like,
really?
I was bawling, crying. I was like, what am I doing? I'm literally getting up and leaving because I didn't know how long I was going for. I only booked a one-way ticket and I booked a month's accommodation. But I was so set in my routine from being in lockdown that I wasn't used to being around other people and I wasn't used to moving outside my house. Like, I wasn't used to anything. I hadn't been in a gym in so long because I was training in my spare bedroom. So I was so overwhelmed. But I was like, just feckin' do it. I was like, do you know what? Just do it. So I was driving down, singing Dermot Kennedy, crying my eyes out, and I was like, got to the airport. I was going to turn around like 2 or 3 times. I was going to turn around, but I just didn't do it. I pushed past, and it's the best thing I've ever done. So that's why you need to push past your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're never going to change. You're always going to be there. You're all like, imagine if I didn't like move to Marbella, my life would be so different right now. Do you know, I'd still be an online coach, but I wouldn't have had the opportunities I've had in the last year that I've had, and I wouldn't have made the memories. And I've met some of my best friends in the last year over there, and I couldn't see my life without them girls now. Do you know?
Stepping out of your comfort zone probably propelled you to more success and probably a better online coach. And
100%, because I have improved in like my own knowledge in so many other areas as well since moving and taking that jump. So anyway, I got over there, and then I remember I got a taxi from the airport. And I remember just driving down the road and I was like, whoa, like I was looking around me. I was like, this is in Ireland. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I arrived, I met the Airbnb guy. He was so lovely, so sweet. And then literally had about half an hour's nap, got dressed, went out, met the girls. The feeling of overwhelmness, like I didn't know anyone, I didn't know what was going on. And then woke up the next day and I was like, this is amazing. This is just, I just felt like a breath of fresh air. Like I felt like something lift off me, because I felt like in Ireland, I was like, I don't know, I was like, what's that word? Claustrophobic or something, because I felt like, I felt restricted and claustrophobic. And I wanted to relate to other people in my industry as well. And I didn't really have many back in Waterford or whatever. So I straight away just felt like this release. And I felt like I can be myself over here. Not that I couldn't be myself in Waterford, but I knew no one knew me here. Like I was restarting my life over here. Do you know, like I knew nobody. So went from there, joined the gyms over there, amazing stuff. I remember walking into paddle and I was so scared because everyone over there was in the best shape of their life. And I was after coming from training in a bedroom, like didn't even have a pair of runners. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, but I just did it. I just kept pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I was like, nothing will change if I don't do it. So then I decided after about 3 weeks that I wanted to stay. So now, bear in mind, my car was in Dublin Airport.
Oh, really?
I left my car in Dublin Airport. That's how unsure I was.
Paying a fee every day.
Yeah, a hefty fee. So I extended the stay then for another month with the same Airbnb guy. He was lovely. I got that. So then it was 2 months and I was like, right, I need to go home and move my car because I like, that's got like hitting a dent in my bank account. Do you know what I mean? So I discussed with my landlord then and I decided that I wanted to stay there for a long term. So he was like, yeah, no problem at all. You can have this place for long term, but it's actually rented out for the month of August. So I went home the start of August to move my car and I was selling resistance bands as well. So I came home to do a bit of that. I was like, no problem at all. So the end of August, I could have that for a year. Well, up until June. So up until now, but I'm renewing it again.
Yeah.
So I went home to Ireland for 2 weeks then. And then I came back and I had to find like other like Airbnbs or whatever to live until I got back there at the end of August. So that was basically it. And I've met so many amazing people.
Yeah.
Like I met one girl, she messaged me on Instagram and we met up for dinner and 2 weeks later we booked a holiday to Dubai and we went and spent 2 weeks in Dubai together. Do you know, it's you meet like-minded people. You're not forced to be friends with anyone. You make friends with people you want to make friends with. That's another thing to boost your confidence as well. And like just boost like your mindset in so many areas because you relate to like-minded people. There's no jealousy over there. There's no competition over there. There's no one doubting you over there. Joe, like when I wanted to leave Aldi, I had so many people saying, oh, don't do that. Like you're in a safe job. Whereas over there, nothing is impossible. Everyone's like, yeah, do it. Do you know what I mean? Go for it. Like you can do this. And it's so inspiring being around them people.
Wow, brilliant. I'm just trying to do the timeline. So that's about 3 years. You went from whatever Aldi, having all sorts of your own challenges, you could say, unsure about your future, basically. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Within 3 years, you've done the course, success in the gym scene, success as an online coach, the courage to move away. You're now living in Marbella, a short amount of time with a booming business. So I think out of your comfort zone is the key.
Out of your comfort zone, and put in the work as well. Like, you do have to put in the work. Like, a lot of people say, like, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have this. But when you know you want something, you have to get up and just do it. No one's going to do it for you. And like, I said that to all my girls as well. Like, when I'm coaching them, like, I'm your coach. I'm going to be there every step of the way, but I can't eat your protein for you. I can't get your steps for you. Do you know, as much as I'd love to, you have to do that as well. And it's like me, even when I was doing the course, like with I was working 70 hours a week in 2 different jobs. I could have easily missed days there because I just wasn't I didn't feel like it, or I wasn't motivated. I hate the word motivated because no one's motivated every day.
Yeah, true.
But like, I made sure to go. I made sure, and I never missed a day. Like, do you know what I mean? And I showed up for myself, and that is what's so important. Like, I didn't believe in myself, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say believe in yourself, because I didn't believe in myself. Like, I literally was like, what am I doing? Every single day, I'm still like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? But it just, when you show up and when you put in the work and when you're consistent with what you're doing, it's not going to fail you. It's like anything you do in life. Consistency, showing up and getting out of your comfort zone is going to get you anywhere you want in life. And that's basically it. There's no magic solutions. There's no easy way out. I didn't have an easy way out. I had no support. I had no help from anyone. I didn't have money in my bank account to do any of these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just did them. I just went with it and I took the risk. Like, even I was saying to you earlier, when the graduation, like, I was so broke. I had taken out a loan, and I remember I missed my last payment for because I was doing installments, and I missed my last payment or whatever. And I remember then going up to the stage, collecting my award and I got Student of the Year, and I was freaking out because, like, it was a certificate that said you have an outstanding balance or whatever, and I was like, yay. Like, that's how I went from being absolutely broke, not even being able to pay my final payment in the course, to now running my own business and having my own apartment in Marbella. So it's so worth it. All those struggles, all those, like, the times you show up when you don't want to and missing your favorite Netflix series. I didn't watch Netflix for a good year, I'd say, because I was adamant on what I was going to do. And it's all worth it, because now I wake up every day and I couldn't be happier. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next section, which is more around coaching. So people watching this, some aspiring fitness coaches out there, You've kind of answered this already, but from the client's point of view, what is online coaching? From the coach's point of view, so someone who's considering becoming a personal trainer, wanting to do online coaching, in a simplest form, what are they doing for their clients? It's not just fitness programs; it's really the full suite of helping them with food, nutrition, recipes,
their
training,
mindset,
check-ins, mindset.
Yeah.
Paint a picture for what is online coaching for a potential coach.
So basically, you want to, it's so much deeper, like you said, than just a workout and a food plan. Every single person is totally different. Every single person has different struggles and different strengths. So you want to play on those strengths. You want to find those strengths out of your client, like, and see what they're good at and push them on that, because everyone's good at something. Everyone struggles with something. Everyone does. Then with their struggles, you don't punish them for it. You don't get out to them for it. You help them with their struggles. You make sure you're there for them with their struggles, and you find a solution for their struggles. Do you know what I mean? So then it's basically as well reminding them that, like, it doesn't happen overnight. So, like, when you give them a program, so someone just say Mary signs up to this online coaching, and she works a full-time job and has 3 kids, and she just thinks she wants to do 5 days in the gym. When you need to sit back and ask her, is this realistic? Do you have time to do 5 days in the gym? Because if she goes from 0, never going to the gym before, to 5 days, 2 weeks in, she's going to feel burnt out and she's going to give up because she thinks it's too hard. Whereas if you start off lightly, 2 to 3 days, build it up, and you need to build a habit first. So when you are coaching clients, you need to remember that it all dives down to the habits and their own lifestyle that they have. Make it enjoyable for them. Not everyone is the same. It's not one plan suits all. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to have different relationships with different clients, and just be there for them and remind them that you're human as well. Like, that's one thing I do with my clients is I will always make sure to relate to them. Like, I will tell them if I've had if I struggled in a day, I'll tell them if I went out, like, and had a few drinks or whatever. I'll tell them, like, I sent in a video to my girls there of me when I was bloated. Like, I woke up one week and I was just mad bloated. And people see me on Instagram, like everyone posts their best photos on Instagram. Everyone posts their like nicest photos. So I sent him in a video and I was like, look, I'm feeling really bloated. I actually put it on Instagram as well. And I was like, I'm human too. We all have these days, like, so never like pressure yourself for it. So yeah, then you just want to check in with them. Make sure you're there for them as well. Like if you're going to check in with your client, make sure you're giving them 100%. Do you know what I mean? You're answering their questions for them and you're helping them in every sort of way that you can. And you just want to be there for them. Do you know, like now saying that my clients have 24/7 access to me, but like if someone texts me at 2 a.m, I'm not going to be there on the phone texting back. Do you know? So you have to set yourself work times as well, which is something I've only started doing recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder at the beginning, as maybe it's beneficial just to do.
Yeah,
work as hard as you can.
Literally, I'd be lying down and I'd be just about to chill out, and I'd get a message on Instagram being like, is it okay if I have this? And I'd be replying, and I was like, I have to be there all the time. I'd wake up the minute I open my eyes and I'd be like checking my emails, my messages, because I was like, no, I have to. But dedicating your own time as well is so important, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and there's only so long you can be giving all of your energy. You need to give yourself energy as well, and it's so important to do that. And like I said, it's something I'm working on, because I find it very hard to switch off, because I do love what I do, but again, at the end of the day, it's not about not loving what you do, it's about filling up your own cup. You know, you need to be able to give. Any
sort of tips on that works for you?
Get yourself a work phone. It's the best thing ever. Okay. Get yourself a work phone, and then.
Well, like your typical week. So you in Marbella, what would you do for yourself to sort of as a recharge almost?
So my morning swims. I love going for my little morning swims. Yeah. So like I usually about 3 times a week I'll go for like a sunrise swim. Absolutely love it. And when I go for my morning swim, I won't look at my phone. I won't look at my notifications, and that's just everything. Like I won't look at Instagram, because I think it's really important when you first wake up in the morning to just be your own self. Like don't consume information straight away from online or whatever. So I'll go get a bit of like steps in and go for a morning swim, or else I'll do like a morning workout. That to me is my time. Like I release inside there. I turn my phone on airplane mode, and that is me time. Like I just love it. That's when I spend
about an hour or two. I'm just going down the beach, relaxing.
Yeah, I'll go down there. I would spend about half an hour, 40 minutes at the beach. Come home then. I'll have my food. I'll have my shower, and then I'll start my work. And then I'll give myself like my work time. Now, saying that, I am always in touch with my clients as well, because like it is like a friendship, especially with my group. Like I'm always in and out of the group. If I see something or if I find something for them, like I'll always send them like pictures or whatever. But set yourself your work times and your work days. So like on a Monday, I will do a lot of like recording and content, and some of my one-to-one check-ins. Then on Tuesday is my group check-ins. So I will spend the day doing the morning doing my group check-ins. And I will put away my personal phone, so I can't be communicating with other people. So my mind is just focused on work, because I used to do that before, and what would take me 4 hours would actually take me 8.
Sounds so simple, but actually it's probably quite effective.
And like
off the personal phone.
Massively, because like a notification will come in, like you're on a conversation then with someone, and that's taken another 20 minutes or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So then you end up scrolling. So it's really important to do that and just give yourself the time to get your workload done. So then you can have time in the evenings to switch off, because it is so important, because otherwise you'll feel like you're going to burn out.
Okay, a newly qualified coach. Any tips that jump off the top of your mind of how to actually start? And it's funny because you mentioned about the time you put up that client's transformation and how that even in itself brought in, I think you said 6 messages or something. Any advice for someone freshly qualified on how to begin? So massive important thing is put up information first. So I spent about 1.5 years throwing up recipes and just me in the gym and giving tips. Like I wasn't qualified. Some of the things I was saying probably wasn't even helpful. Like I put up the wrong exercise at one stage. But when you know your stuff, give out as much free, valuable information as you can. You want to gain people's trusts, okay? Just because you look good doesn't mean you're going to get clients. Like if you hit the gym and if you have an insane physique, people don't know that people can't trust you. People go by trust. So I spent ages throwing up free information on Instagram and giving as much knowledge as I can. Then, like I said, even if you're starting out and you're scared and you don't know how to get clients, take on like 2 people for free. Work with 2 people closely for free and let them see that you know what you're doing and work closely with them and like see does it help, see if you're good at it, see if you like it as well, because there's no point diving into online coaching if you don't like it. It's not for everyone and you have to have a passion about it. So give free information online as much as you can. Like I still do it. Like I have clients, I have a following, but I still, because I love doing it, I love helping people, because some people can't afford online coaching. And I actually had a girl message me about 2 weeks ago
saying she's been following me for a while and she gave herself 8 weeks off of my information on Instagram alone, and she sent me a photo of her transformation, and I was like mind blown.
Really?
Off my free information. So give out as much as you can. She said now she's going to join the next group, you know, so not even that I wanted to get a client out of it, but the fact that I can see I'm helping at least one person, that's what your passion should be. So give out free information on Instagram, practice what you preach as well, go to the gym, show up for yourself, eat your foods. Like if you don't go to the gym and if you don't like, you know, practice what you preach, how are your clients going to be able to do it? Because they think that you can't. So you do need to practice what you preach as well. Always be learning as well, always upskill. There's always something new, so always upskill your knowledge, and then like that, just give your all to your clients. You know, don't see them as numbers, don't see them as money, see them as an individual. If you have 10 clients, you focus on one at a time, you focus on that one and don't see it as just 1 out of 10, like that is one client, you know. So
would you suggest they maybe take on a family member or a friend for free, and with the deal of I'm going to be using your before and after pictures? Definitely what I would recommend. If you like, I got lucky because one of the lads I worked with actually and I was going to take him on for free, but he was like, no, like leave me give you something. Do you know what I mean? So I think he gave me like €50 or something, and I was delighted. It was like €50 towards my rent. Do you know, I was going to do it for free, but yeah, I would definitely remember those moments.
Yeah, no, honestly, like you really remember like the feelings of those like times. That's why I never take anything for granted now, ever. I'll never take anything for granted now because I've been there where like I've struggled a lot, like, so I never take anything for granted, and I never get ahead of myself either. If I have one client or if I have 200 clients, they're all getting the same attention. Do you know what I mean? Because it takes one day, it takes one split second for your life to change. Do you know what I mean? Or one bad like relationship with a client or something, you know, so you need to be on point all the time. You need to give your clients everything. So yeah, I would recommend taking on at least 2 people. Tell them that you're going to be using their transformation pictures. Don't starve them for a transformation picture either. Don't be putting them on dust and water. Don't coach them like you'd coach anyone. Coach them like you're going to be a coach and see what happens. Like check in with them, give them your full attention, and then work off of that then. And just like I said, provide free information to people.
I wonder if they done that and approach friends and family, would the people be less committed? Because I always wonder if there'd be more drop-offs because someone hasn't paid and actually committed to it. But maybe for someone watching, you potentially, if you take on 2 or 3, you might lose 1 or 2 because were they ever really that interested in the first place?
See, that's the thing.
Part of it. That's part of it.
That is part of it.
You described how that beginning chapter, how there was no Netflix, you were working all evening, content. You kept using the content word. That was probably a big factor in. You know, you were just building and working so many hours in that first chapter that you were then able to use all that content to grow the business. Yeah. So could you paint a picture of what actually is this content that you're doing? Writing down recipes, making videos of exercises? Yeah. So basically just helping people as much as I can. So when I was working in Aldi and in the gym or whatever, then I'd be training, but I'd record my own training. And I just post it and I'd be like just showing people how to do exercises and showing people that I was doing it and how good I'd feel from doing it, because like showing that people all right, okay, if you don't have time, you can make time, do you know, basically, because I didn't have time back then. Like I said, I had to schedule in my toilet breaks. Like I was so busy. Wow. So I was showing people that you can make time. Then recording as much as I could. Then it was like just putting up on Instagram pictures of my meals. And then people would be like, oh God, she's in shape and she can eat a chicken burger, do you know? So I was showing people that I was living by my own rules and it was working. So that was the proof of it, and that was gaining people's trust that like I am eating these foods and I am getting results. Do you know what I mean? So that was like proving that I knew what I was talking about to people. And I remember as well, I went through a stage of a lot of people started unfollowing me on Instagram and I was like, people hate what I'm doing. But at the same time, I was gaining followers. So it even out. So I was going to stop because I was like paranoid. I was like, people are getting sick of looking at me. Yeah. But one of the lads, the same lad that actually told me to go to the gym, was like, keep doing it. Just keep posting, keeping consistent with it, Danielle. So I did, and I didn't care, and I forgot about likes, I forgot about followers, I forgot about all that stuff, because at the end of the day, I would be getting a couple of messages a day of people saying, thanks so much, that helped, thanks so much for that tip, really appreciate that. And people were using my recipes, people were making small changes, and that's what kept me going. Didn't matter if I lost 2 followers, it's the fact that I helped one person, and that's what you always need to be like working towards, like remembering that you're helping people. You're not doing it for a following. The following will come. The money will come once you are doing it for the right reasons. And that's what happened then. It was lockdown. Like I was posting consistently, everything I could.
And then when lockdown happened, then I started posting more because I had more time, and then that's when my following like kind of started to really spiral up. So
Someone who's just a non-social media person, it's just not for them. It's a real struggle. I know a lot of your clients are from referrals.
yeah.
So they can still, if they get off the ground and start to get some clients and look at them the best way possible, they can still probably grow their client base.
Oh yeah.
Just from doing a good job with them.
100%.
That is a big factor in yours, isn't it?
Word of mouth is massive. It's always been word of mouth. Like I've never had to do Facebook ads or anything like that, which I'm blessed. I'm lucky, but it's always been word of mouth. And that's where it kind of really, really, because I've had a lot of women that aren't on Instagram, and like, that's okay. Like people don't have to be on Instagram. It is my main source of my clients, like, to be fair, because everything is online now, like everything is. But yeah, it's a lot of like family members referring or friends referring or whatever like that. Like I could get one girl in my group, and then next thing her sister and her best friend are in my next group.
No way.
So it's good like that. It's always word of mouth. It's like anything though. If you go to a hairdresser's and if they do a great job, you're going to go back. If you go to a hairdresser's and they botch your hair, you're never going to go back, and you're going to tell 15 people. Do you know? So you need to think of it like that. Like you are the face of your business. So whatever you do, it's up to you to put in that work and like give the best to your client. Or even like I always refer back to as well, like if a client comes to you looking to lose fat and change your relationship with food, and you don't do that, it's like going to a hairdresser, asking them to dye your hair blonde, and you come out with a bob cut and no blonde. Like you're not given the service that you've offered. So you need to give the service that you offer, and you need to give it 100% as well.
Just on that, actually, because we were speaking about this before we started, the relationship to food. That is something you work on quite a bit, the mindset and everything with your clients.
Massively.
Could you talk about that a little bit more, the relationship with food and how that helps them, and some techniques you might use?
Yeah, so that is a massive one, and I get a lot of my girls come to me for that because I've been quite open about like my binge eating and stuff, and my under eating, my anorexia and stuff on Instagram. Not as much, but I do want to touch on it a bit more. But I've had a lot of girls come to me, and it's not as simple as just then like, right, calorie deficit. Do you know what I mean? You need to work on that relationship with food, because I've been there. I've been, and I thought there was no escape. Like when I was suffering my binge eating, like I was like, this is me. When I was suffering my anorexia, I remember my ex at the time, like when I was really young, I think I was like 17 or 18, he and I was in the deep end of my anorexia, and he bought me a chocolate bar. There was a new Galaxy bar out, and he bought me that chocolate bar, and I literally broke up with the boy. I was like, how dare you? I can't eat that. Like that's how mind fucked I was. Like, sorry for cursing, but like that's how much it took over my life, that I had a fear of this chocolate bar. And I was like, that I genuinely believed that was going to make me gain 3 stone. That little chocolate bar. Do you know? I broke up with the poor fella. Jesus Christ. We got back together after, but we broke up again. Obviously, we're not together anymore. But yeah. So
right. Relationship with food.
So you just have to work on that then, and it's getting a coach is very important when you do suffer with it. Now, I got myself out of it. I just kept going. I kept working. I read a book, actually, a very, very good book called Brain Over Binge. And I listened to that, and I read it, and I studied it, and I consumed it. And I was like, wow, like I am actually in charge of my own brain. Like these like urges or whatever, they're not in control of me. I'm in control of me. So when I came out of that, oh my God, I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Because like I said, I thought that was it. Like I'm never going to come out of this cycle. Do you know what I mean? I went from anorexia to binge eating, and I'm like, I'm never coming out of this. Like food consumed my life. Thinking about food, worrying about food, going on holidays, worrying about, oh my God, the calories in this. Going out for a night out and like starving myself for 2 days before so I can have a few drinks at the weekend. It's not the way to live, and it's so bad. So I work so closely with my girls on this. And a lot of the videos, the information videos I give, I explain what calories are. I give them all the education, but a lot of it comes back to your mindset and like your relationship with food. And because I've been there and I've overcame it, I will touch on that a lot with them, and it really, really does work with them. And a lot of them are just like, wow. And then once we fix the relationship with food and they start to see that they're losing weight, eating the food that they love, it's sorted. And then like I have a lot of girls go on holidays and they're like, oh, can we pause the coaching? And I'm like, no, you'll go on holidays, you'll have the time of your life, and then you'll come back and you'll check in with me. And you'll see that you haven't gained 2 stone in a week, do you know? Yeah. And when they do go on the holiday and come back, they're like, wow, like I used to always dread holidays. And I think that's even better throughout the course of our coaching when they have a holiday or an event, because they can see themselves.
Right, as in it's not as bad as they think it's going to be.
Yeah, because I used to be dreading, like I dread a holiday before, like, whereas now, like I've just came back from Ibiza and I've literally lived my best life over there. Whereas before I used to be in that position where I'd freak out. So when they can see that they've gone away for a week, I'll give them tips obviously on certain things. If they don't want to go absolutely AWOL over there, I'll give them tips on what to do. That's what I do. I basically teach them it's just making simple swaps. Do you know what I mean? It's making simple swaps, getting up, getting active when you can. Same as like on a night out. If they have a night out coming out and they want to stay on track, I'll just teach them how to. I'll teach them what drinks are better. I'll teach them what meals are better. I'll teach them how to organize their calories around it and manage their calories around it. And it works because none of my girls are shy of a social life, I'll tell you that.
Brilliant. Okay. Coaches watching this or aspiring coaches watching this, I know you do one-to-one online and you do a group online program. Simple terms, how does that work from a potential coach watching this?
So with the one-to-one, I was always just one-to-one, and then that was great. But I loved doing from my group classes. I loved doing group aspects as well.
Right.
So I've only actually started up the group coaching since before Christmas. I did one I think 2 years ago, but I never kind of hopped on it. So I started the group coaching just before Christmas, and it was more so for people that didn't want to splash out on the one-to-one because it's a reduced price.
Right, so the price is one factor of a benefit.
Yeah, so the price is lower. Now it's still basically a one-to-one service. They get their one-to-one check-in with me, like no one else sees their check-in, and I check in with them personally every single week. So it is basically still a one-to-one service. And then we have the group chat, which is amazing. Oh, it's just a
Crack
team.
flying.
Oh my God, a team of queens. Like they'd be asking for advice on dresses and everything, and like if they're going on a night out, you know what I mean? And I just love that aspect of it. Like I love that. And if they're going on holidays, they'll send in photos or they'll send in their food, like the recipes, their meals that they're having. One girl actually texted in the group last night saying she had a bit of a bad week or whatever. And I swear there was about 12 messages there. Oh, hope all is okay. We're all here to chat. The support. And none of these girls know each other, but like the support is just amazing. And again, that's what fulfills me, is seeing these girls connect and seeing these girls, like, because a relationship, like when I did Image, the relationship with the people doing it with you can massively drive you on. So they have the motivation from me, and I'm in the group daily as well. Like, I love it. I see it as a friend group. Like, you know, it's not like I have to go through my group WhatsApp. I'm like, I can't wait to go in and see what the girls are at. So we have that. They all get set up to the app or whatever, and I do it for 8-week blocks. So we're on week 5 of this current one now, and it just went really, really well. Like, and I just kept doing them. So my next one I was starting in August. I can't wait. I've already people like on the waiting list for it as well. So I cannot wait. It's just literally a group of confident, like strong women that want to gain confidence, get results, change their physique, and literally just learn about food and enjoy their life.
So in simple terms, to a coach, are they, paying a fee, and for that they get check-ins and basic plans, is that type of thing, where the one-to-one is much more full on?
Yeah, the one-to-one would be more personalized. So I would do their workout like personalized to their goals, like their physique goals or whatever.
Okay.
Like I have a client photo shoot tomorrow with one of my one-to-one girls. So obviously her training was dedicated to her areas that she wanted to improve on. Like she wanted to grow her glutes, trim down her waist or whatever. So we give a glute-based split. Whereas with the group coaching, they have options. They have 3, 4, or 5 days, and they have home or gym workouts. So they have access to all these workouts, but they can choose whatever they want. So just say if 1 week one girl couldn't make it to the gym, she has the home workout there that she can do. So they're just not personalized each, but if a girl cannot do a certain exercise, I will send in a different exercise for her or whatever. And they have videos of me doing every single exercise as well. Like I went and I recorded all of those. So they have the full library. So when they have their workout there, and if it says squat, they just click the squat and it's me squatting, so they know how to do it. Then I give them the recipe book, my Fakeaway macro-friendly recipe book. They get the weekly check-ins, upload their photos, form checks, like if they're struggling with their form, I make sure they send them over because it's massively important. So like that, they get a lot for the group.
Yeah.
It's basically one-to-one.
And even probably the community side of it helps each other, and even the smallest ways, you know?
Definitely. Like I think even like one girl there, like I woke up one morning, like I'm always awake at like 6 a.m. I love my mornings. And I'll always write into the group like every kind of second morning, be like, girls, get up now, remember, get your stuff done or whatever. And then one other girl wrote in and she was like, oh, I've just come back from a walk. And then one of the other girls was like, I was going to stay in bed, but after seeing these messages, I'm now getting up.
Wow.
So it's just that roll-on effect. Yeah. And it's so motivating, like for all of them, because it's very easy to have a day where you're like, you don't feel like getting up. But then when you see the girls in your group doing it, you're like, right, I'm going to get up now, do you know? So it's a lovely little aspect.
I love that. I can see you getting quite a few inquiries after this. We've kind of touched on this, but your energy and you're passionate about what you do, Danielle, it's infectious. Describe what you love most about your lifestyle at the moment. I mean, you're living in Spain, you're in Marbella, you're an online coach, you're very successful. Talk about what you love.
I just never thought I'd be here. I just never thought I'd be this happy. Like waking up every morning and doing something that I love. I actually feel like I'm going to start crying. Like waking up every morning and doing something that I love and seeing like women become happier and seeing women like just like gain confidence and like wear dresses and feel good about themselves. I get to wake up and do that like every day and it doesn't feel like work. Whereas I was in a job where I hated before. I get to go to the gym on my own terms. I get to live in a hot country. I'm surrounded by amazing people. Like, I don't know. Every day I'm so grateful because like I said, I never thought I'd be here. I thought my life was working in Aldi and binging. Like, do you know what I mean? And now I'm here and I'm helping other women do it. And that's the best thing. It's the most rewarding feeling. If you love what you do, if you love coaching, like it is the most rewarding feeling. Like it will never feel like work. It will never, ever feel like you wake up and hate your job. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I just love everything about my life. And I'm happy that I can say that. And some people might be like, oh, she's full of herself. But it took a lot for me to get here. And I can finally say I'm at a place where I wouldn't change a thing.
Brilliant. Okay. Right. Someone picture, let's say the day in the life of an online coach, yourself even over 1 or 2 days. So a day in the life of someone working in a gym, you might start at 6, finish at 2, you know, your home describe, you know, a typical day for you or a typical 2 days for you.
Right.
When you do your online, like would you do content and videos in the morning? Are you replying to emails in the afternoon? Do you have check-ins in the evening?
Most of the time I actually kind of changed up my routine recently. I love training first thing in the morning. But on my really, really busy day of check-ins would be a Tuesday. I will wake up and like get a bulk of my check-ins done first and then go to the gym. But a typical day for me would be wake up at 6 o'clock, go drink a litre of water because I'm so bad to drink water. So that's like my routine.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, take my vitamins. I'll either read a bit of a book or else I'll just write out what I have to do that day, do a bit of gratitude, lifesaver. I love gratitude. It literally just... Even if you wake up in a bad mood and if you write down that you're grateful for 3 things, like it changes your mindset so much. Yeah. Even the fact that like I can walk out to the kitchen and make myself a coffee. Some people don't have that. And you remind yourself how grateful like you are. So then I'll do that. Then I'll hit the gym about 7. So go to the gym, just say I'm training legs, that'll be about an hour. Then I'll do a small bit of content maybe. So half an hour of recording. Then I'll do 30 minutes on the treadmill. And while I'm on the treadmill, then I'll go through emails. So like any new applications that have come in or anyone that have had any questions during the week, I'll go through my emails on that. Then I will walk home, get myself a little coffee, my little reward for my training. Then I'll get home, shower, make myself breakfast, and then work time. I'll sit down with my laptop and, like I said, put the phone away.
Right.
Then I'll sit down and just head into like my check-ins, and I don't really respond to like Instagram messages or anything like that while I'm doing my check-ins because
stay focused.
That's my focus. Like that's my focus is my check-ins. So I'll give a couple of hours of doing that, and then I'll always like get a break done or whatever. I'll go for a walk down by the beach, get my steps in.
Paradise.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. It's an amazing lifestyle. But
evening time.
Evenings, then I'll come back then, and I'll more than likely do another like couple of hours of work. I'll either put together like a reel for Instagram. I'll do a bit of content. I'll maybe record for like my client group as well. Make my dinner. Maybe record a fakeaway. They kind of come to me at times. I don't really have a plan for those. Okay. It's like if I think of something, I'll record it. So do like a recipe or whatever if I do. And then evening time, then I will try and switch off. Like I said, I'm still working on that. So try and switch off then. And then Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I will still work. I'll still check my emails and all that. But it's more so I'll do something different. Like I might go to a beach club or we'll go down to the beach like I'll meet the girls or whatever and we'll chill, like we might get a few cocktails or something like that, like go explore, like go do different things. Like I'm not really mad on nights out, like put me in a nightclub and I hate it, but I love a beach club. Like I will sit there in the sun and have a cocktail and live my best life. I love them.
I'm the same, yeah.
I'm just too old now. I can't hack being out on a night out. Like come 10 o'clock and I'm like, and if music is blaring in my ear, I'm like, get me home. But so yeah, like I said, I've made a great group of friends over there. One of the girls is actually flying over to me on Wednesday. So when I fly back, she's flying over Wednesday and we're just doing a week of content. So we're just going to record each other doing bits but that doesn't feel like work. Like we love doing that, you know? So
yeah, brilliant. And
then we're going to do a beach club at the weekend and all. So yeah, it's just making sure you prioritize your work hours. You get your clients responded to, you get what needs to be done.
Like a fixed job almost, like you're going
to. Exactly, because like I'm my own boss, like, and if I don't get myself up out of bed, no one's covering my shift for me, do you know?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of set your, and like that comes over time. So if you're starting out to be a coach, like don't panic about the little things. just start. Like, just start. I literally just started. I had no structure. I had no like plan of action. All I knew was I can help people. I know I'm able. I know what I'm talking about. I just don't know how to do it like properly at the moment. So that will all come in time. So don't be stressing out if you don't have the perfect app or the perfect structure. Just do it. Work all the hours you can at the start, and then you will find your feet. And like that, I'm still learning how to switch off. I'm still learning how to give myself work hours. And it all comes into place then. So like on a Thursday evening, that will be my main like recording day, because it'd be my rest day from the gym. Whereas before I used to go in and put pressure on myself to record every single day and make content. That just got overwhelming. So on a Thursday, I'll take notes of any struggles that my clients had, and I'll learn from my clients as well. And then I'll record videos on it and throw them up on Instagram or whatever. And that will be my day of recording. And if I have some recipes, I'll do that as well. So then the pressure is gone, and I'm not like trying to do check-ins, and I'm not trying to do recipes, and I'm not trying to do this and that all at the one go.
The enjoyment you have in the weekend is then feels more deserved.
Definitely.
You worked hard, you know?
Yeah, definitely is. Like, because you've your work done. You know that like you feel satisfied with the work that you've done. So then you can just go and just chill, and even if it's down by the pool with a book, like, do you know what I mean? You know you've put in the work, and you can just chill, and everyone's happiness, everyone's chilling is different. You know, like for me, I love just even chilling on the couch. Like I love being outdoors. So like down at the beach, and I am in my element. Give me the beach, a cup of coffee or a can of Monster, and I'm living my best life. Like, but yeah, it's so important, like I said, to take the weekends or whatever it is to yourself. Like just give yourself that time. Like that, I'm still in and out with the group. Like the girls never get rid of me, but like
you come back more motivated on the Monday, refreshed.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Because I've experienced burnout now before. Like I have experienced burnout where I was like, whoa, like I need to stop now because I'm not actually doing anything outside of like coaching. And I put so much pressure on myself, and it's totally normal to feel and compare yourself to other coaches, which is something I don't do. I used to do it. I went through a phase where I was comparing myself. I was like, I'm not good enough. But no, you need to stop. If you know you're doing a good job, and if you have returning clients, and if you're helping these people, don't compare. Everyone is different. And that comes to clients as well. Don't compare your fat loss journey to someone else's fat loss journey. In everything in life, don't compare what you're doing to anyone else's, because it can get very consuming. And that's when you will put out like a false image on Instagram. And I see it the whole time. I see coaches put out this false image because they're hopping on the new trend, and they're trying to gain followers. Whereas just be yourself, like and that's something I'm glad I never did. I never hopped on the next trend, or I never tried to promote something that was bullshit. You know what I mean? I kept to my word. I kept believing in my own beliefs, and I've just been real on Instagram, and that's why people trust me. So that's another important one for coaches as well, starting out. Be real on Instagram. Be real. Don't try and jump on the next trend or whatever, or copy what someone else is doing, because there's only so long you can live a fake life. Do you know what I mean? There's only so long you can do it.
Very good. You mentioned gratitude there and the effects that's had on you. Talk to me about that.
It was actually Stephen who introduced me to that. Yeah, bless him.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's so into mindset, like, and that's why we just bounced off each other when we met, because I was so into like my mindset too. Like I was reading all these books, and
Stephen, by the way, is another student on the course. Same class as Danielle.
Yeah, we just bounced off each other. So we used to actually walk to Image every single morning. Like it was an hour. We'd walk an hour like out the road. Right. Yeah, and we'd just be like talking about mindset and talking about this, talking about that, and like the energy would be flowing. And he was like the first person I met that had that same energy as me, like that motivation as me. And then he actually spoke to me about gratitude, and he'd been doing it for so long, and I'd never heard of it at this stage. Like I didn't really know what it was. So he got me on that. So gratitude is basically, instead of waking up and being like, so just say you want to lose 2 stone, right? Instead of waking up and you're like, oh, fuck, I haven't lost 2 stone yet. Wake up and be like, I'm 1 step closer to losing 2 stone, or I'm one step closer to this. Or if you wake up and you're not happy with something, remind yourself of what you're grateful for, like the little things in life. And that's something that I had to do back then as well, because I didn't have a lot going for me at the time. Like I was broke. I was like in a job I didn't like, do you know what I mean? But I reminded myself, like, I'm doing Image Fitness right now. I'm going to be where I want to be at one stage. Like I have milk downstairs in my fridge. I have a bed to sleep in. The little of things. And then you actually remind yourself how lucky, because some people in the world don't have that. Like some people don't have a bed. Yeah. It's something as simple, and people forget that. Like people forget like the small things that you need to be grateful for. And still to this day, I'll wake up and remind myself like my coffee. I love my coffee. It makes me so happy. But like I'm grateful that I am living in Marbella right now. I'm grateful that I can help others like change their life around. Like I'm grateful that I have food in my fridge. So gratitude is a massive thing that really, really changed and helped my mindset massively. It really, really is something. So even 3 things every morning, just like write them down. 3 things to remind yourself of what's going right in your life. Instead of waking up and being like, I hate my job. I hate this. I hate that. I don't have €1,000,000. I don't have a Ferrari. Just stop, like, because it's not going to make you have it. If you complain about your job, you still have to go.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, just remind yourself of what you're grateful for. It makes all the difference.
And you may have noticed knock-on benefits then.
Yeah.
Where you may have had maybe a shittier day, you probably has flipped that into having a better day. Then
Definitely. Like, even people say it there, like, I've had, the last 4 days have been wild for me. Like, I checked into an Airbnb, no internet, no connection, no, I was in the middle of nowhere. People couldn't even ring me. I was like, right, I'm getting murdered. I'm in a horror movie right now. So went off then to buy a modem, €100 on a modem. Didn't work either. Jeez. So then I got anxious because I was like, I need to be in touch with my clients. Like, that's the only thing that will like make me feel a bit whatever. But all I could do was laugh about it. And I was putting up, I always share my journey, my stuff on Instagram or whatever. And I had so many girls messaging me like, how do you keep so calm in these situations? And I was like, because stressing about it is not going to change it. Me stressing is not going to get me internet. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I may as well just do what I can for now. So then I ended up staying in a hotel 2 nights ago. And then I had to check into a new Airbnb yesterday. Bear in mind, I'm not even home a week and I've moved 3 times. Do you know what I mean? And I'm literally like packing up my stuff and moving from one place to another. So yesterday then I got to the Airbnb and I had Wi-Fi that worked. And I was so grateful. Do you know, like, because I didn't have it like a few days before. And I was like, I'm comfy now. I'm settled. I have my Wi-Fi. So I put it up on Instagram. And when the girls actually messaged me, I was like, how do you stay so calm? Like, you've had a disaster in Spain. And I was like I said, stressing ain't going to fix it. Do you know what I mean? You just need to go with it. And you need to, if it's not going to matter in 5 years' time, don't spend 5 minutes worrying about it, you know? And that's something I worked on with my mindset, because 5 years ago, I was the most negative Nancy you'd ever meet in your life. Oh, I was always the victim. Oh, well, my life is like this, and my life, and I had this, and I had that. I was always complaining. It got me nowhere.
It was a big change in yourself, transformation yourself from then to now.
Oh, massively. And people that know me a long time see it as well, like massively. It's crazy. I was not this person. Like, I was this person, but I never knew her. She wasn't. She wasn't here. Like, I was too negative. I just was always focusing on the bad. I never took time to focus on the good. And because you focus on the bad, you're going to draw more bad energy in. You're going to have a bad day. You're going to be miserable with everything you do. And it's just going to roll on. Whereas when you just focus on like what you can focus on and what you can control, works massively. Like, it really takes a lot for me to get pissed off. Like, do you know? Yeah.
Okay. Would you advise coaches watching this, newly qualified coaches, that it was beneficial for you to have starting off in the gym job before you went online coaching?
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah, I would definitely get a bit of experience. Even like, I know now, I don't know what way jobs are now, but even if you can do voluntary work 1 or 2 days a week in a gym, it really does help massively to build your own confidence, first of all, because like, yeah, you can be hitting the gym and you could be doing this, but everyone's like body mechanics are different. You know, you see how people move differently. And just because you can do a squat doesn't mean that your client can do a squat. So you need to know that other people have like different kind of struggles and stuff. And when you're online coaching, it's hard to see that because it's online. You don't see your client in person. So I definitely would recommend getting into a gym scene and just relating with other people. Like, because some people are quieter. Some people want to go in and just get the job done. Some people then are chatty. Do you know, you get to know. And then classes as well is another massive one for boosting your confidence. Yeah. So getting in a few classes, like, doing some getting some voluntary work if possible on a gym floor and just helping.
I couldn't agree more. Like, even like if someone's trying to make content even for videos and they've got a couple of months in a gym, even their video quality will be better because their confidence alone will be higher.
Definitely.
Okay, what would you suggest? Would you say even 6 to 12 months is a safe bet?
Yeah, I would definitely do 6 to 12 months. Now, I was 6 months in the gym, but lockdown happened, so I had no choice but to be out of the gym. And in a way, it was a good thing that happened to me, because I probably would have stayed on a bit longer and not focused on my online coaching. So I just believe everything happens for a reason. So out of that bad situation of lockdown, which was bad, I made the most out of it, you know, that kind of way. But 6 months to 12 months, definitely work closely with people on the gym floor. Go ask them, are they okay? If someone needs help, help them.
Deep end.
Yeah, exactly. Help as much as you can. Be friendly, be welcoming, be happy inside the gym, you know, like, be approachable. Because no one's going to come to you if you're not approachable. And that will knock onto your online coaching as well. If you're just online putting up photos like that don't give any information or give anything like that, like, you're not going to be approachable. You want to show that you want to help people. Like, you know, people are going to get sick of just looking at gym selfies. There's no knowledge, there's no value in them especially if you're just putting them up in like, oh, gym done or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be putting up information. Like, you want to be showing like, yeah, great, you go to the gym, but give out information, show people that you want to help them, whether that is for free. Because I've had a lot of people that followed me for a good year and a half before they ended up signing up. And the reason they sign up is because they've followed me for a year and a half, and they show that I've been nonstop for the year and a half, like giving out information and all.
Yeah,
So,
brilliant. Okay, people watching this, I mean, the transformation yourself. You said you've read quite a few books. Anything you've read or watched or followed or podcast, anything that jumps off the mind that you'd recommend?
a massive book that changed my mindset was Atomic Habits.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. It's just mad when you just realize that everything you do on a day-to-day is over habit.
Yeah.
Like the gym, brushing your teeth, everything you do is based on a habit that you've developed once in your life. So all these like things, these bad habits that you have, they can be undone. When you read that book, it really opens up your eyes to it. Another one I read was Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, amazing book. Have you read it as well?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Then Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have you read that one?
Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Motivation Manifesto, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Very good book. You read it as well?
The first one though, Atomic Habits, was one of the most impactful.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was it for me when I realized, like, because it just makes you realize that you can change anything in your life. Like, you can. You can make excuses, or you can actually make changes, and you can change anything in your life. You just need to be consistent and change the habits that you do every day.
It's amazing you say that, because when I'm with students now and I teach the Career Pathways workshop, at the end of it I now send them out a load of stuff, and I send them out a link to the Atomic Habits YouTube video. And just I worry that they won't bother watching it, so I send them a summary version which is only 25 minutes long, and I send them the 2-hour version where he's talking about it on stage and all the key tips. So it's great you say that. Couldn't recommend
No,
that.
it's fantastic. That's the very first mindset book, because I used to never read. I hated reading. I just classified myself as a person that doesn't read. But again, it's just changing the habit and making yourself read. And do you know what I mean? Like, and the audiobooks now, I love them. So I've listened to Atomic Habits twice, I'd say, on an audiobook, and I've read the book twice. That's how much I love it. And I think as well, The Secret, I watched that movie and I was like, Jesus, like, that's mad. Like, you can really like manifest anything into your life, like.
Yeah.
But you obviously have to do the work as well. You can't just lie in bed 24/7 and be like, I'm going to manifest a Lamborghini. Do you know?
Yeah, you've educated yourself from a whole mindset point of view. I love even what you mentioned about your morning routines.
Yeah.
Any general tips you could share with the viewers watching this in terms of mindset and stuff you can do? You know, things you would advise, stuff that works for you.
Yeah.
That side of it.
So if you're someone that's struggling, like, and thinks negatively or in a bad place, like, that is okay. Like, I've been there. But you can change it. But it's like anything. Your brain is like a muscle. So it's like training your bicep. You have to train that as well. And what you consume daily, like if you're going on to Instagram and if you're scrolling aimlessly on these people's pages that don't give you any benefit and make you feel shit about yourself, unfollow them. Follow inspirational people. Follow people that are going to give you a good feeling about yourself, like every single day. What you read, what you watch, what you listen to daily, you're going to consume, like you're going to absorb it. And I even had to get rid of a few people out of my life to be where I am now, because they weren't friends, they were drinking partners, or they didn't want to see me do well. And I had to take that jump. And obviously at the time I thought these are my best friends, but they're not. Like, so even the people you hang around with, the stuff you watch, everything has a massive impact. So you need to just do like a detox on all of that stuff that you consume. Start watching motivational videos. Like, just look up YouTube, look up motivation. Like, do you know what I mean? They all come up. Like, I remember getting up for work when I was working in Aldi. I'd start a 6 o'clock shift. I'd wake up at 4 o'clock to give myself an hour of mindset, like just my mindset. So I'd make sure and go down, I'd make my lunch.
Really committed to it.
I really committed to it, because my mindset was not good at all. Like, it was not, if you had met me a couple of years ago, like I was saying, you would not think I'm the same person. Like, it's crazy. So I would always throw on then like a motivational YouTube or a motivational podcast in the background. And I would consume that rather than waking up and turning on the news. I can't remember the last time I listened to the news. Yeah. Because why? You're listening to shite, like being consumed, like negativity. Do you know, you're waking up first thing in the morning, you're turning on RT1 and you're hearing about all these bad things or whatever, but they don't talk about all the good things that are happening in life. Yeah. So it is all what you consume. So I'd wake up and throw on a motivational podcast. I'd start doing my gratitude or whatever. I'd make my lunch. I'd make time to make my lunch and bring it with me. Go get fresh air. Fresh air as well is a massive one. Okay. It's so good. Like, I always encourage my girls to get like steps and all. And they're like, oh, why do I have to get? And I'm like, just trust me, I'll just go out and get some fresh air, because it's just so beneficial. Like, if you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious or anything like that, throw in a good podcast, go out, get some fresh air, take some deep breaths, and it is just a free stress reliever. Like a free stress reliever. Same as even eating good and exercising. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's free, like it's free therapy basically.
Atomic habits, fresh air, your morning routine, motivational videos, your self-help podcasts and stuff that you listen to.
And it all knocks on. It all rolls on. Like when you go to the gym, just saying you start the gym and then in 2 weeks' time you start to feel better. Why would you want to go back to feeling shit then? Do you know what I mean? It knocks on. Like it rolls on when you start to get that clear vision in front of you and you enjoy showing up for yourself. That's what it's about. It's about showing up for yourself. And when you get that clear vision, like I could never go back to how I lived before. But so that's why I keep showing up. I'm not motivated every day. There's some days I would rather sleep in till 12 o'clock, but I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm showing up for myself and I know I'm going to feel better after. So it all has a knock-on effect, and you just have to like work on yourself and give yourself that time. Like if you just say you're meant to go to the gym, right? And you wake up and you don't feel like going. But if you didn't feel like going to work, you're still going to show up. So why would you like not show up for yourself? Make your appointments for yourself. Like make your gym an appointment for yourself. Make your meals an appointment for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, have that structure, because like if you don't want to just show up to work, you're not just going to not go. You're going to go. So you shouldn't put yourself last. And when you show up for yourself every day, that's what builds self-confidence. That's where confidence comes. And you just feel better every single day because you're keeping a promise that you made to yourself. Do you know what I mean? If I made you a promise to turn up for this podcast today, and if I didn't turn up, you'd be pissed off. So why would I make a promise to myself that I'm going to go to the gym and not go? You're pissing your own self off without realizing you're damaging your own self-esteem by not doing it. So you just need to show up for yourself.
Do you notice any negatives, I mean, for the public of social media in terms of, especially for younger people?
Yeah.
They're watching, seeing the likes of your physique and these physiques, and they're trying their best in the gym or what have you.
Yeah.
Have you spotted any potential negatives?
The only negative on social media right now is all the fake bullshit going around now that I don't like. So like these machines that I put something on my story the other day, it's like a machine that like, I don't know, electrocutes your arse or something, and it grows your glutes. It's the equivalent of 2,500 squats.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm out here breaking my arse for 5 years to grow a bit of a glute, like. But no, there can be a lot of negativity online because of people showing themselves so much. But I always make sure to post the real side of it as well, like that I worked to get here, that I posted my transformation. I posted when I was really, really skinny. I posted when I had excess body fat. I will always remind people that like it is okay to have a day one. It is okay to have a day one. And obviously there is going to be negativity online, but it's like everything, do you know, it is like everything. But the worst thing I would ever want to see is like girls suffering with like an eating disorder or anything, and then following other girls that are promoting like looking really, really thin or promoting bad eating habits. So that's why I preach a lot, and I do talk about like bad eating habits. And I encourage my girls to eat so much food. Like they're all like, wow, how am I eating so much food? Because this restricting kind of cycle doesn't ever work. So when I give my girls their calories, they're like, are you sure I can eat this much? I'm like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So my biggest aim is getting rid of the bullshit side of Instagram and all of that kind of like negativity around it. Like, and body positivity is a good thing, but then again, some people are promoting like just eat what you want and you don't need to exercise if you don't feel like it, where I think that's negative as well. Because if someone is overweight and unhappy and they're watching this one in shape saying, oh, just eat what you want, you don't have to go to the gym, that's just going to confuse them when this one in shape is telling people to do it. So showing that you put in the work, like going to the gym, like I show people that I go to the gym every day. This didn't just happen overnight. Like I didn't grow my physique overnight. It's with anything worth having, it does take a bit of hard work. It does take work, like, do you know?
Okay. Right, the last topic, we'll finish on this.
I'm someone to ramble.
No, well, I'll tell you, this is what I'm taking most from it is that first step that you took. Like you were crying listening to Dermot Kennedy driving down to the airport.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, when you went to the gym at the beginning, you walked on the treadmill for a couple of months and you didn't want to go near the weights room.
Yeah.
There's many who are listening to this or watching this are just at that point, whether it's to start the course, begin a new career in their business or whatever it is, or even starting in the gym or starting something and are struggling to take that first step.
Just do it. Take the step. Honest to God, everything that has happened in my life that's good, I've just took a step. Like, I can't express how much. If you're worried about starting the gym, just do it. Just start the gym, because you don't know where you're going to be next year. If you're worried about starting the course, just start it, because time is going to pass anyway. Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't work out, it's fine. You can always go like back home, or you can always do a different course. Look how many courses I've done to get to where I wanted to be. I was a hairdresser. I was a beauty therapist. I did a business course. Like, what? Do you know what I mean? I didn't know, but I just did them. And I was like, right, if it doesn't work out, at least I found out what I don't want. Yeah. So you will find what you want in life, but you won't find what you want if you don't take those jumps. Like, and you literally don't know your potential unless you do that first step. Yeah. Everybody has a first step. Yeah. Like I said, it took me 6 months to go to the weight section. I was terrified. My best friend walked into someone doing a walk and lunge. I used to call a leg curl a leg press. Like, I didn't know. I had a day one. So just take the step, because you have no idea your potential unless you take that step. Yeah. And that's just like, I'm so passionate about that, because if I listened to the people telling me back when I was in Aldi, oh, don't go to the gym, no, don't, you keep the good wage that you have now, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd still be in Aldi doing, like, and there's nothing wrong with Aldi, but it just wasn't the job I wanted. Do you know what I mean? I worked with amazing people in there. I really, really did. I still have a great connection with all of them. But I just knew there was more to my life. I knew that I wanted to help people, and that was my passion. So just do it. Just break past your comfort zone. Nothing grows in your comfort zone. What's that saying? If you put a shark in a fish tank, it'll never grow. But if you put him in the ocean, he'll grow. Yeah. And it's so true. And that's why I moved to Marbella, because I reached my comfort zone levels in Waterford. So I pushed myself even further, and I was like, right, I'm just going to go over and surround myself with people doing the same thing as me, who were doing better than me in the industry. And I'm going to throw myself in there and make some connections. And I did it.
And to add to that, potentially you may overthink it and try to talk yourself out of a good
thing. Yeah.
And even what you said, you may have some people in your life that will try...
lead you away,
And I almost try to keep you in the comfort zone.
Yeah, you need to not listen to them, and you just need to do it. If you want to make a change, if you're unhappy with where you are now, you need to make that change. Nobody can make that change for you, only yourself. And if someone is telling you no, that you can't do it, they're not someone that cares. They're not someone. I have my best friend group, and the numbers have dropped massively in the last few years. But the girls I have in my life now and the boys I have in my life, they are for life. Like, they want to see me grow. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when I put up, I was in the podcast today, I had all of them message me, oh my God, I can't wait, best of luck.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? It makes a difference who you surround yourself with. But you will have doubts in anything you do in life. Jesus, I have doubts still to this day about things I'm doing. Like, when I released my glute guide, I had doubts. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I did it and it went successful. So it's like, just go. Like, do you know what I mean? You've nothing to lose. Do you want to be 80 and look back and be like, what if I did that? What if? Instead of like having regrets, just fucking do it. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, you can always do something else. Like, time is passing anyway. I get so passionate about it, because like, if I didn't make those first steps now, I wouldn't be here right now. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing what I love.
Brilliant. Okay. That was as fantastic as I was expecting it to be. Where can the guys find you? Tell them about your platforms.
So on Instagram, I am Danny Patrice Coaching. It's my coaching page, and I don't really use Facebook, but so I have like all information up on my Instagram. Like, I share recipes, I share workouts, I'll give away free information. Like, I love it. So that's where you get me. That's where my main kind of social platform, and TikTok now as well. I'm trying to grow on that.
Really?
Yeah, Danny Patrice Coaching is my name on everything.
Patrice Coaching. Okay, links below. Okay, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice.
Brilliant.